Welcome to the CADclass Holiday Special. I'm Josh.
I'm Jake.
So good to be with you all and the holiday season. Jake, we've got a special episode today. We're doing a little gifting.
A little bit of white elephanting, always fun. But today's gonna be really fun because it's in my mind, this is it's the last podcast of the year, and this is going to be talking a little bit about what we're going to be doing next year, what you guys want to see us do next year, and kind of looking into a little bit of predictions about next year as well, with the incoming CAD, incoming 3D printers, incoming making, all that good stuff. But first off, just to kind of start the show, I wanted to show off my final prop that I was talking about so much last week. Oh, I have finally finished my Boba Fett holiday special rifle. This thing is it's so much bigger in real life than it looks on camera. It's like 42 inches long, so it's absolutely gigantic. And this thing is just ridiculous. It's so like over the top, colorful neon. It's just ridiculous. I love this so much. I am just so stoked to have this. We're gonna be filming this episode pretty soon. Fingers crossed I get this out before, or you get the video out before Christmas. That is the plan of action. But yeah, this was a ton of fun to make. I really enjoyed it, and I think all the little bits and pieces that I get to teach you guys about how to go from 2D cartoon to 3D object. There's a bunch of really cool, valuable stuff in there, so that'll be really fun to make. But all in all, this took I think about 1 kilogram of material to make, so it's not it's not super duper heavy, maybe less than 1 kilogram actually. But yeah, this was just a ton of fun. I always find anytime I'm like working on a fun little project that is not serious at all, I always approach it with the same attitude as that it is a very serious project. I'm like, so this took me, oh my god, like two days of like solid CAD modeling to like make it accurate to something that doesn't matter whatsoever.
This
it matters. Does not matter at
How
all.
dare you?
But it matters. But it matters. It's very important.
Exactly. It matters to you.
And in honor of the Star Wars holiday special, I'm wearing the only Christmas apparel that I own, which is lovely. I got a DM from Printed by John the other day last week saying that he watched 10 or 15 minutes of it. That's all he could stand, and then he had to turn it off.
I have to admit, I did turn it on.
Oh, okay.
And I found myself going to the slider button.
Yep.
Out of curiosity and just scrubbing it back and forth and just dragging it around.
You
and
can't
then
believe it. Yeah.
I'll take it one step further, Jake. And then I went on to YouTube and I was like, who else has talked about this holiday special? And there was an interview. Was it with Conan? One of the late night guys interviewed. Is it Mark Hamill in it? Harrison Ford. It was Harrison Ford asking him about the holiday special.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
oh, and they all get really uncomfortable and they all want to leave.
Yes.
It's so wonderful how awful it is. So I'll be watching it very, very soon in this Christmas season.
And good morning, by the way, to Printed by John on the pod. You've got something, I believe, to unwrap live on the stream from Printed by John, and also PC Van Fleet, Mr. Mitnick. Morning.
It'd be great if I just left that there. That sounds really good.
Yeah. So,
definitely a good idea.
Wonderful. Is this? I think we should do this. I think this is how we should start. What do you think?
This is the hot start. All right.
Or do we dive into some of the things that people have made?
I think we should do that. I think we should dive into what people have made actually, because that's just
so. Instead of making this about us, we're gonna make it about you.
Cool. But I on purpose have not looked at the I made things section for a little while. Oh no, that's actually a lie. I did see these by Ty Snyder, which just looks so rad. These laser cut frames. These are just so awesome. I really dig these. I've made some of these before that I posted. My partner's from Colorado, and so I made her this gigantic multi-layer flag of Colorado. So Colorado's flag is awesome. And it's just fantastic. These look great. I love seeing these so much.
This was Ty as well. So he was one of the Roseville Rising cohort students. He's
Oh, very
now
cool.
at UC Berkeley.
Very rad. All
Yeah,
right.
let me get some fusion classes going at UC Berkeley.
That is so sweet.
Yeah.
Snail posted a video that was really, really good, actually. How to side mount a 3D printer. Really rad video. Highly recommend if you guys watch it.
Also said some nice things about learning CAD and his ability to make
Yeah.
these things because of it. And oh,
It's
lovely.
very, very sweet.
And then that one I think we talked about last week, did we not? Did we not?
No. This is a little Christmas light clip thing. I have seen these being sold at a premium, like $10 for like 5 of them at stores. And every single time that I look at them, coming from now a 3D printer, and I understand the cost in plastic, and I understand the electricity and the actual manufacturing cost that goes into it. It's just pennies. And then the fact that someone can make this and it just looks great and it's functional, it's like, yeah, why would you buy anything like this when you can model it up in no time and print it overnight? It's just awesome. Coming from ZDP, I'm not sure. Top kickable pencil case.
What is
That's
it?
pretty awesome.
What?
RKG-3 pencil case. I'm not sure what that is, but it does look pretty cool. I really dig that. Another one of these layered prints. This is, yeah, I can definitely see this is something that people sell very, very easily. This is the kind of thing where you can make these, or you can design them in the course of like a week or a weekend, actually, and then make a bunch of them. I was actually looking at the some of the laser printers that we have recommended for different maker spaces that we've built up over the years, and a lot of them have then released new laser cutters, and they're still fairly high cost in the $4,000 to $5,000 range. But what you get for it is actual high quality cuts. If you take a look at this image, this is raw from the printer, and you can kind of see some of these almost faded burn marks. That means that this is the bottom surface of this of the plywood. So the top surface would be a little bit more orangey on the top sections, but all these rando burns are just kind of strange intervals. These are all from the inconsistencies of the organic material of the plywood. So having this on the backside means you've got a really nice smooth area, but all these dots that you can just paint over very, very easily. So this looks fantastic. Laser cutting is one of those really fantastic tools where the tool is still fairly expensive to get into right at the very beginning, but it pays for itself so incredibly quickly. We've seen people who spend, 10 grand on a laser cutter, and they have paid for that machine within 1 month of sales. And then everything after that is just profit on top of profit, because plywood is not very expensive. But these kind of projects, these look fantastic. I love these so much. I actually do want quite a few of these. Making a pipe holder for Christmas. Very, very nice.
That's
lovely.
Great.
Oh yeah, this isn't the one that I made, but this was my inspiration for it. This took a long time to model. So I think the guy that sells these sells them for about, I think, like a couple hundred, like $200-300. And even though it doesn't look that difficult to make, it is very, very tricky to make, and it also takes a huge amount of time to laser cut all of these. So there's about 12 layers thick per board or per flag or artwork. So it does take a tremendous amount of time. So yeah, even though they look very simple, they do take a decent amount of time. And then I think we saw this last week, but Print by John also making some really, really, really fantastic business cards. Dude, can't wait to see what you make next year. This is going to be fantastic. And then anything in I failed a thing? Oh yeah, we saw these. This is not fail. This is prototyping. Prototyping is not failure. This is on your way to success.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And then
there were some challenge submissions. Exactly.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. There is 11. This is such a good render. If you just had a couple tiny scratches on here, I think people would be pretty hard pressed to see that this was not just a 3D model. But this is just dead simple. I love this kind of stuff.
Nice work, Connie.
And then everyone tried to do the little challenge, the speed challenge last week, which was actually a ton of fun. And everyone's going, "Oh, you did it wrong, Jake." And I'm like in hindsight, I reworked the design. I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't do it as efficiently as I could, but that's fine.
What
That's
about the
fine, that's
weight?
fine.
The weight was off. Did you
The
see
weight
that?
was off because there was
Was
a
the density
custom...
wrong?
No, there was a really weird. Yeah, the density. The density was 1,020 kilograms per cubic meter, which is a really weird unit. I don't think I've seen that meter before. Or that unit before. But yeah, this had to be customly put in to the physical material, and that's not super duper easy to do very, very quickly. But yeah, still really, really fun. Speaking of, I think we should do our white elephant gifts. And I think
agree.
I actually do want to start off with this one. So Josh and I both sent each other something. Nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting.
Just a little holiday cheer.
Is this the gift from Printed by John or from me?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Incredibly sweet, incredibly kind. Printed by John sent me this. I have no idea what's in it.
I think we should.
Dude,
I think we should remove me from this. Can we remove just me from the screen and it's only you? Nope. Nope. What happens? What happens if you click that icon? What happens if you click the little person icon there? Oh, it's still me. Oh no, but that's no. What about the one person? Can you click the one person icon?
Yeah, that's just you.
Wait. Let me. Can I drag me around? Huh. All right. Well, welcome to the CADclass podcast, where we fiddle with technology
sometimes
instead of actually doing anything of value. Nice to be with you all. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel more and more Christmassy, more and more merry as the days goes on, which is just it's just feeling good.
Drum roll,
but dude,
please.
Thank you so much. You didn't have to do this. Incredibly kind. So appreciative. Thank you so much. We've had a couple of people send us some stuff over the years, and it really warms my heart every time. You guys don't. Yeah. If you ever do this, please do not spend too much money on anything whatsoever. We're not worth it. But without further ado,
yeah, don't send us anything. Don't do that.
Oh, we got an RGB.
Uh-oh. Some LEDs coming out.
Oh, that feels heavy.
This seems like a custom project.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
The cackle.
This feels. Hey! Oh, yes.
Is that the levitating tree?
I don't know if this is the levitating one, but this is the RGB Christmas tree, printed by John May, and this is. And I can finally roast his printing techniques.
Perfect.
Not really.
What better thing
I can already
to
tell
do?
it's a lovely, lovely, lovely print.
This is
Oh, this is so nice. Dude, thank you so much. I will very, very, very proudly. Oh, it's got embedded magnets. Oh, wait a second. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, 10 out of 10.
All right. So do you have 3 AAA batteries?
I don't actually.
Okay. All right. So then it would be, I was gonna say we should light up the Christmas tree if possible, but if not, that's okay too.
I have some in my stationery, in my other office. But dude,
show it off to the cam. Yeah, let's see. Oh, that's awesome.
That is such a rad. That is so nice. The print quality is just lovely, lovely, lovely as can be, as expected, on the base and everything. It's so funky. Like, not that long ago, it was so easy to tell if something was actually 3D printed, and no consumer would accept it. But nowadays, we're getting closer and closer to like the common man can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
And it just so these are just
common man.
It's so good. I'm gonna be playing with that all week long.
That's amazing.
Right. Okay. So that flicks off. Oh no, it's AAAs. Okay. Damn, I have two AAAs.
Yeah.
I just need one more. Bugger. Damn, I literally don't have a single. Do I want any ammo? Mm.
Okay.
All
right, Jake. As you're looking for batteries, this is really exciting stuff here.
Yeah.
The battery looking. I think should we continue on with you?
I'm gonna go and get some batteries. I would like you, Mr. Joshua, to actually talk. I'll be back in 1 minute, if you please.
Oh, alrighty then. I feel like I should do some. We've got a lot of new members now, so I feel like I should also say hello. I saw a couple people pop into the chat. Create with Cody. I haven't seen you stop in here previously, so it's nice to have you. Grandpa Makes has got to run. It's been nice seeing you here. I know we showed off some of what you were making as well. How's the drone? Oh man, the drone is still at the same spot the drone has been. So I am still learning to fly it, although I have not graduated to actually flying. Yeah, just flying in the simulation for now. I haven't graduated to actually flying the drone yet, which is a little bit lame. I need to get on that and do that. So I'm hoping to do that here in the next couple of hopefully actually over break. That'd be solid. I've fallen behind, Jake, on my drone flying.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen a single drone being flown.
Yeah.
A single flown being drone.
All right. No flown drones.
There we go. Okay, so this is actually,
and then you have the remote too, right? Take the remote.
Okay, so I'm just seeing on my screen, this looks really blown out. So the aperture is way too high on this, or it was way too low. In real life, this is such a lovely muted, warm glow. I don't know if he's actually gone in and adjusted the thickness of the wall to adjust the light coming out. But this is such a lovely, delicate, warm glow. That is so nice. Oh, dude. I think you'll sell 1 million of those, dude. Let me. Do you want to change the color? So nice. All right. Oh. I really am a sucker for RGB. I love this stuff so much. It's so.
And do they have a program that just changes between them?
Oh, that is so nice. I don't know why all of them they have flashing as if anybody wants those. But the smooth glow is so nice. Dude, thank you so much. This will be adorning all of in the back of our Christmas video.
Oh my goodness, that's perfect. That's perfect.
That's so lovely. Okay, I'm going to be leaving this in frame.
Hey, look at that. It's Jake, we have Too Tall Toby in here. It's good to have you. That was he was the person, and he's the guy that does the CAD challenges, and he was the guy who had that challenge that we did last week. So we were just talking about that a couple of minutes ago. Too Tall Toby. It's good to be here with you. You to be here with us. I don't know how that goes. Something like that.
Yeah, I want this to be a little bit more center stage than a Boba Fett gun. That is so rad. Oh,
yeah.
I love that so much. Dude, again, thank you ever so much. That's incredibly sweet of you. Lovely. Okay. Mr. Joshua, I think you need to open up a present.
Okay. All right.
Whatever your expectations are right here, bring them away.
Just bring them away. So I have an introduction for your present.
Okay.
It needs an intro. So
okay, Jake. Tell me later.
Yeah, I obviously will give you yours. Okay, let's see here. Let's try not to cut myself with a knife up high like this.
Yeah.
Trying to open it on camera. I guess that's completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Let's see. What have we here? What kind of shenanigans is
I really hope it didn't smash in transit.
Oh man, this is funny. Let's see here. This has the chance to be completely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I have something to tell you.
It's the most mashed Josh thing I could find.
Okay. It's a beaker-like coffee mug with, is that caffeine? Yes.
That's a caffeine molecule.
With a caffeine molecule on it. Oh my goodness.
And too small of a handle.
Actually, you're right. I could fit kind of 2 fingers in there, and definitely 3 is uncomfortable. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. This feels like it also just needs a plant in it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Thanks, Jake. I have a funny story to tell you, but only after only
Okay.
after you open yours. Okay, so I have an introduction for yours.
Okay.
So the introduction goes something like this.
Okay.
What I want you to be able to do when you open this gift is to remember CADclass lore forever,
Okay.
wherever
Okay.
you happen to be in the world. So
Oh,
just
God.
in case you forget, this will serve as a nice memory.
Okay.
You
All
can
right.
proceed.
All right, lovely. So when Josh ordered this on our shared account, he said, "Ignore the email, turn it off." And as he sent that text, the email came up, and I only saw the first couple letters. So all I saw in this email was Amazon order placed, cute, and that's it. And then ... And that was the end of the email. So I don't know. I do not know what's in it. All I know is that it's cute.
But you should have some guesses. I think the intro,
Man.
I mean, I don't think you could definitely not guess it. I'll say that much. But the intro, I think, may have teased a little bit about what it might be. I didn't know this, but you could actually pay Amazon a couple bucks to actually gift wrap it, which I was like, yeah, obviously I want to waste $2 on gift wrapping. Obviously.
Duh, yeah.
Speaking of caffeine, I should switch mugs here.
Look how ridiculously over the top this is. I've never felt more Christmassy. I hope this isn't
makes me
annoying
smile.
any headphones wearers. All right, what's in? What is? That's all I'm seeing.
You gotta open it.
I am confused.
This is an even better unboxing experience than I imagined. This is so good.
What? Is...
See how long it takes?
Is that a donut blanket?
That's a donut blanket.
Oh my...
That is so. Just so that you don't forget what the first lesson is in the CADclass curriculum, I figured you could always have a donut with you at all times. It is a giant donut blanket.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Jake. And then I figured, I was like, well, I hope Casey
it's
gets
gigantic, cold. Josh. It's...
I assure you, it was not expensive. It was just so I almost want to share with you the thing that I just about bought you, because I almost bought you a mug.
Okay, yeah. So Josh has told me, it won't ship to you in time by this video, but he's going to.
No. So I have a second thing I'm going to show you that I actually made. Right. So, but I want to. Yes, I did make.
One second. Let me dress this out really quick.
Oh my god, that's just as ridiculous as I thought it would be.
Absolutely huge. Lovely.
Well, hopefully Casey gets cold from time to time and needs a blanket. Yeah. Hey Casey, here's a donut blanket for you. I don't know.
I gave her something not too dissimilar to that, but it looks like a tortilla.
Yes, it was the same. They had the tortilla in there too. Well, now she's got a donut. I know she wants.
Lovely. Yeah.
To remember CADclass and the first class. But what I actually almost bought for you, the inspiration was a mug on Amazon with a cutout of a donut with the exact 3 bites that we put into our donut. So what I need you to do at some point is go onto Amazon and find that. Just type in donut coffee mug. Actually, can you do it? You can. Maybe I can do it and share my screen. Let's see here. So if you just type in like donut coffee mug, look at this.
Let's see if
that is what inspired it. I was like, that's absurd. There's only one reason I didn't buy it.
That looks impossible to drink out of.
It's impossible. There's only one reason I didn't buy it.
Ridiculous, over the top, unnecessary.
But it has the same 3 bites. I'm like, this is
it does actually. Yeah.
What? So there you have it, Jake. That was the inspiration. Okay, now drum roll, please. So this other gift, I didn't have time to ship to Jake by the time this podcast went live, but
you made it. I didn't know that it was.
I made a thing for you, Jake. and I
Okay.
think it belongs exactly on this podcast episode.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Let's see it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
The original
Yes.
OG
Oh
poster
my god.
for the holiday special.
That's
I
so
found
good.
it. I printed it. I printed you a nice little frame for it
Oh, that's really
with
lovely.
a gyroid infill pattern.
Oh,
And I didn't have time to ship it to you. So that will be
that's
coming
so
your way as well. You'll have an additional piece of memorabilia that you can either keep or throw away. It makes no difference to me.
Can you show it on camera again, really, really quick? Can you
Ye-
put it right in the very, very
Yes,
middle?
I can.
For everyone who doesn't know, right, that character who looks like a monster right above the text where it says star, that is Chewbacca's father, who I believe is either called Itchy or Scratchy. That should give you some level of information about the garbage of what the Star Wars Holiday Special
It's
is.
absurd.
He is the character that puts on essentially a VR headset and watches some bizarre adult content stuff. It's family friendly, but it's like heavily implied. It's just weird.
That was so funky. So
Yeah.
have you ever stumbled across this website, Jake? There is a website with this memorabilia on it.
Really?
Oh man,
kinda
when I tell you I watched YouTube, I did some internet research. It's like, what exists? And they sell merch. Of course, they sell merch. Of course they sell merch. But I was I don't go ahead.
There's not too many props in the Star Wars Holiday Special. But I do want to do a bit of a Christmas tradition by making one of them. I've got another one in mind.
Oh, nice.
But
The question
I
is,
think
will you be able to
but
wait
I think
11
that'd be
months
kinda
to
fun.
do it?
Yeah, I know. Well,
Yeah.
that's fun. If stretching the amount of time that I don't have to see it again every year is fine by me. But really quick, for anyone who didn't see the very, very beginning bit, I finally finished making my Star Wars Holiday Special Boba Fett prop rifle ridiculous over the top color. And I want to do something, but I don't have a really good idea, and I want to kind of crowdsource it. In the Star Wars Holiday Special, Boba Fett shoots like invisible white lasers from the end of this, and I couldn't think of a good way to do it. But I do have some glow in the dark filament that I've got like a full kilogram. I haven't used it in ages. But I don't know how to give that effect. So if you guys have any ideas, please let me know, and I'll make it very, very quickly before the video comes out.
You don't know how to give an invisible laser effect? I don't even understand what the prompt is.
I
Jake.
know.
I know you can't see this, but what would it look like if you could?
Yeah.
It's tough. So ideas crowdsourced from the audience.
Yeah.
My thought was forget the invisible, put Roman candles in the end of it, and just light them and fire them out. That would be fantastic.
I just have fun with it.
That would be so good. It would be as ridiculous. It obviously wouldn't be accurate to the movie, but it would be as over the top as the movie is. So it fits in some ways. That's my pitch.
Some ways, yeah. Continuing onwards, I want to kind of talk about next year coming up, 2025, and all the things that we're going to be doing, and all the things we have planned. One thing that we do want to hear from you guys is what you want to see. We're chucking around a few big ideas, a few small books, a few big books that we're planning on doing next year, obviously corresponding courses. But we're going to be going in a little bit more topic heavy for a couple of our publications. And so we want to get some information from what you guys want to learn, what you guys want to see. We've had quite a few people over the year say, oh, I really want to learn about print in place designing. How do I model that? Well, that's very, very complicated, but it's definitely something that we're talking about putting out next year. So if you guys have any ideas or any suggestions that you guys want to see us go really, really deeply in depth with, that you want to learn very intently, please let us know.
And I will say, I'll tease this with a couple too. So we are thinking about surface modeling. That's been on our mind for a little while. Quite a different approach to surface modeling. So we've toyed with it. We have had quite a few requests recently on the Discord for surface modeling. Sheet metal is in the contending series. That's something we're going to write about these. And this is kind of in addition to some other texts and book heavy stuff that we're going to do. And then the third is something that Autodesk has been poking us about a fair bit, and just happened to poke us about again today, and that is generative design. So I've just reached out to and asked if they would mind giving us some credits for generative design, and I may start playing around a little bit in the generative workspace just to see what the state of the art is. I know they're putting a lot of resources into it right now. So those are just some, I see Connie says forms and sheet metal. Definitely. I think expect at least a project or two in those areas coming down the line. Even if it doesn't make it in the book, I think we should still do a little video on them. Just like a quick little brief, like, here's what you need to know about this workspace to get started. So expect some of that coming down the line, but also think about topics that are combined, I think is a good way to think about it. So there's like 3D printing and Fusion is something we could put together, or print in place and Tinkercad, right? I'm just kind of mashing things together here. So yes, would love your thoughts and ideas. Any stuff here is good.
Love it. Speaking of 2025 and all the stuff that we're going to be seeing, I just want us to be spending a little bit of time just for fun, just poking around what our predictions for the world of 3D printing will look like next year. Because we've obviously seen almost what I would call a shuffling, where you have, just in my mind, over the years of 3D printing, we've kind of experimented and done this and that, Delta printers, 4D printers, upside down printers, bed slingers, Core XY, and we're kind of seeing all of these different 3D printing companies all kind of converge and slowly shuffle into a little bit more of a more uniform 3D printer in technology. For example, bed slingers are becoming less and less common, coming out with new printers. They're obviously much more inexpensive than Core XY, but from what we've seen, a lot of 3D printing companies are now producing basically only Core XY for their new types, just because you get so much more speed, so much better quality, and what used to be a really big price is now being shrunk more and more and more till it approaches bed slingers. And that's kind of what we're seeing with Creality, with Anycubic. Obviously, the new Bamboo is going to be another Core XY. Prusa's new Core XY is coming down. But there's also a couple more smaller companies that are trying to get lower price Core XY on the market ASAP. And one of the things that I want to kind of throw in the pot is not necessarily a new 3D printer technology, but almost a different style. So if you didn't see the video that Snail posted on our Discord on the I Made a Thing section, he's getting essentially a little bit more of a modern printer farm setup for the home, but he's having all of his machines be Bamboo A1 minis. But what he's doing with them is he's mounting them on the wall. So they are vertical 3D printers. And I want to bring this back into from the world of CNC machines. So if you've never been in a workshop that has an industrial size CNC machine, they're usually the size of a sheet of plywood, so 4x8 feet, and then a foot extra on either side for the chassis and all the moving parts, and then also dust collection, and then also a gigantic vacuum pump to suck all the air down. So there's lots and lots of stuff that goes with it. And if you're in an industrial workspace, you kind of build your workshop around it. So that's just kind of how it's the biggest, blockiest thing, so everything goes around it. Perfect. If you're in a workshop, that's fantastic. That's just going to be what happens. Fantastic. What ends up happening with people who want that size CNC machine, but they don't have kind of an infinite workspace to be in, they do a wall-mounted CNC machine. There's no reason not to do it on the wall. It's just a little bit harder to mount, to kind of screw the plywood vertically than just lay it down on a surface and then screw it in. But as far as the CAD side and as far as the CAM size, it's basically exactly the same thing. Because as long as you have tabs that hold your final product to the stock, it's not going to fall down. There's not going to be really any difference with the dust collection, because as soon as it's being cut out, the dust is just kind of going everywhere and then it's being sucked up immediately by the dust collection. So there's really no difference there. But the big thing for the kind of maker at home the weekend woodworker, we like to call them, is that it saves a huge amount of space, a gigantic amount of space. And having an entire wall just be a CNC machine is fantastic. The problem and the reason that it's not very common is that to have a weekend woodworker, just like a hobbyist in my garage, who also needs an industrial size CNC machine and who also cannot compromise for that machine, it's pretty niche. It's pretty niche. Usually if you are a weekend woodworker, garage person, then you usually have a much smaller CNC machine, like a 2 foot by 2 foot size, which is you can still do plenty of projects with that. Or that is your entire machine, and you're not also a wood turner or a cabinet maker or a bandsaw person or this and that. That's just kind of what you do. And so having an industrial size CNC machine on the wall, it exists, but it's never been very common. It's like, okay, I get it. But a wall mounted 3D printer farm is actually really, really interesting because it makes the automation so much easier. The new build plates that are coming out, oh my god, I'm totally forgetting the name. There's a new one that's very, very popular. It's like a sky blue color almost. Apparently, it feels like sandpaper. They are so good. As soon as they cool down, the part just falling off it. So if you just have a 3D printer on the wall and essentially just a bucket underneath it, as soon as it's done cooling down, it just drops into it. There's no need for like a robot arm to grab it or like a lifting mechanism or pushing code. It's kind of done. Yeah, the Cryoman. Thank you very much. And so there's really, I think that might be like a new breed of 3D printers where they are meant to be wall mounted, and so all the screen and all the chassis and all the buttons and the actual how the user approaches it in a vertical orientation rather than on a tabletop. What do you think about that, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as trends go, at least I don't know if I'm feeling this because we're in the industry or if I'm feeling this because I actually have my finger on the pulse, but I am sensing that more and more people are moving into larger manufacturing operations specifically for 3D printing, that the number of use cases is going up. The quality and the simplicity of getting started with the newer machines is now higher. And so it's making it feel like from a business perspective, 3D printing is more viable than ever. Still tough to find a product. You know, we started in this industry. I think the hard part is still finding a product that you can make over and over again. So there's issues there. But yeah, I do think there's a case for companies that are intentionally trying to sell something, not even quite, I wouldn't even necessarily call it modular, but really close to that. Like almost like these are designed to be placed really close to one another, and they're designed with the mounting holes and brackets already ready to roll. I think it's, I don't know if the companies themselves will do it, but I could see
but I can imagine
exactly. I could see print farm kits, especially for the lighter machines like the Bamboo Mini. I mean, I can also foresee disaster on plaster wall, or not plaster, but what is that stuff called?
Like drywall.
Drywall. Thank you. Yeah, I could see disaster drywalls just being ripped off and all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. In my head, I've got it that I'm constantly asking the question of what Bamboo has done is made it extremely simple to get started, right? They really perfected a lot of that early process for getting started. And I ask myself pretty often, what's the next extremely simple thing that would help people get started? And one of the things that I think that hasn't been combined that I've seen, but I also haven't done much research, so correct me if I'm wrong, audience and Jake, is a replicator, in the sense that if you take an object and you build 3D scanning capabilities into your printer and you place an object on the printer, why not combine these two ideas where it's like, do you have this little bolt around your house that you need specifically? Place it in the middle of the build surface. And we've got a 3D scanner. It doesn't even have to be a 3D scanner. It could just be photos that are then stitched together, right? And we'll turn that into the file that's actually printable for you. So the only thing that you really need to do is place the object on the machine that you'd like it to scan.
Cool.
Press scan, scans it, take the thing off, press go, and print it. Because that's one of the use cases that people tell me, like, you remember this conversation we had for a while. Right away, when people start talking about learning CAD, their mind immediately goes to, how about 3D scanning? And the reason it does that is because
Yeah.
learning CAD is hard, right? It's not easy to learn
Mhm.
CAD, but what we've historically told people is 3D scanning isn't easy to learn either for all these
No,
reasons, right?
no.
But what if it were easy to learn and
Mm,
use? What if the simplicity was actually high on this machine? And so now what you've got on your desk is the replicator,
mhm.
the thing that makes another one of the things, or frankly, just makes the model. And then it's like there's a whole process there. It's not, it's like how much of the friction could we actually remove from the 3D scanning process if we thought about it deeply from first
Mm,
principles? Does it need to be all these polygons? Can we automatically convert it? Can we just assume that the file type that we want is a step file and not
mm,
whatever file? Now I'm a little bit out of my depth here. I haven't done that much 3D scanning, but not whatever file type those
mm,
scanners spit out. So yeah, that's what I think. I think the you can't go wrong if the simplicity of these things continues to go down.
mm.
And I would
You know what?
argue,
I'll expand on your idea. There is a very special, very niche type of 3D printer called a radial 3D printer, where instead of having an arm move, or sorry, a hot end move up, down, left to right, front to back, all in 3 dimensions, it essentially has a base that rotates, and then an arm that can only move up to go with the height of the print and inwards. So instead of moving in degrees, it's moving in radians essentially. So if you need to do a straight line, well then it needs to have a mixture of rotation of the bed and movement of it. It's there's not that many like suitcases. No, not suitcases. Cases that suit it. Suitcase. Yeah, suitcase. Yeah, I'm fine with that rando word. There's not many best suit cases. There we go. For a radial printer. But if you have a model that you can place on a surface and the bed rotates and you've got a camera on the arm that can scan it and move vertically at the same time, and then it's the same machine that can print it, I think that's actually a really good idea,
I
Josh.
think also take it a little further, it's not just the scanning of the model that I'm pitching here. It's actually the simplification of the process itself. That
Mm.
this industry, this I think 3D scanners would absolutely crush it. But of course, there's the question of price versus quality versus, right. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of really hard problems to solve, and there's also a bunch of really hard software problems to solve. Right.
Yes.
It can't
3D
spit out a
scanners are
model that's
expensive for a reason.
it can't spit out a model that's again full of polygons or has blips and errors. It actually has to be robust and good. It has to be at the level of the bamboo machines where it's like press the button and go, and it works. And I
Mhm,
think because you already have the cameras now built into a lot of these machines, so that the
mhm.
actual technology is there. It wouldn't be that much extra to have a little magnetic attachment to the bed that has a
Yeah.
rotating surface on it that just plugs in, or maybe it's, who knows what it, right? That actually
Mm.
spins the model around that you can capture additional information there with. And I think that integration inside of, if it's with Prusa inside of the printables world, or if it's with
Mhm.
bamboo, that it goes straight to the slicer and kind of makes those decisions for you. I
Yeah. I
I
think it
think
could
if
be
they
really cool,
if the
actually.
price were right, it could be a really nice way to get people into this stuff and to feel
Mhm.
like they're actually solving problems they have for themselves, but not quite into the CAD modeling world where people still continue to be pretty intimidated.
Yeah. Um, just a tiny little story that may be a little morbid, but it is very interesting. One of our fellow YouTuber buddies, who I won't mention who it is, but they have their 3D printing farm business, and then as a separate thing, they have a 3D scanning business. And of what they've told me, they make the same amount of money, and the amount of profit that he gets from this 3D scanning is fantastic because the machine that they buy is like $10,000. Heavy investment, obviously. But the jobs that require this tool, those clients are willing to pay 20 grand for a session very, very easily. Like, not even a problem. The thing about this job, though, apparently, is that the gigs that require those level of 3D printers are often bizarre. Often bizarre. A lot of the use case of 3D printers are like, oh, I'm a sculptor, I'm an artist, and I need to be able to have a 3D scan, 3D model of this artwork. I can't recreate it in CAD or in Forms because it has so much detail and all of these, like even a fingerprint smudge in there, like a plasticine model. Like that needs to be captured, and you need a really, really super duper high quality of that. And apparently, one of the jobs that comes in, he says, I get this job maybe 3 times a year, and it pays very, very handsomely. But they have to 3D scan cadavers for like for like government like crime files. And he's like, yeah, it's as awful as it sounds.
Yeah,
But
that
it's
does
like
not sound ideal.
but it's like half an hour's worth of work, and I walk out of there with a very hefty payment off it. Oh, oh gosh, that sounds awful. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you get used to it pretty quick, but it's the very beginning. It's a little harrowing. I
Yeah,
bet.
not for
I
me.
bet. Yeah, not for me. So 3D scanning, there's definitely gigs out there, but yeah, get ready for a very, very, very weird profession if that's what you want to get into. But apparently, it's very profitable. So yeah, we'll see. One thing that I do want to make note of, because Christmas and all the holidays are around the corner, is for everyone here and everyone who has family members that go, oh, I want to buy little Jimmy a 3D printer. Buyers beware. I have seen quite a few posts now on different 3D printing communities on Reddit and outside it of them finding ads and sales on like Temu and AliExpress and all this stuff for 3D printers who are maybe 150 bucks being sold for damn near $500, like with not accurate titles, like, oh, this is a Core XY, yada yada yada, here's a bunch of keywords that just there's like a paragraph worth of a title, $500. And then you look at the pictures and you're like, that's an Ender 3. That's no. And I guarantee there's people out there just being scammed.
It
Totally being
is. We still have. I mean, you and I, when we started this business with 3D printing in mind, we were kind of riding the tail end of this same trend. What I would argue is, I can't believe that 3D printer is so cheap, and
Yes.
because I can't believe it, I'm willing to pay more than I otherwise would pay, which meant that the manufacturers were selling inexpensive printers, but it felt like an expensive machine because these
Yes.
things were still new enough that people hadn't seen them yet. So you could very easily either mark it up or sell classes with it, and people felt like they were getting a great deal. So I think it's just kind of a negative continuation of that idea. Hopefully, I mean, everybody in this audience is definitely well versed in what's going on, but hopefully you can also, tell the folks who are considering getting into this.
If they go, oh yeah,
avoid-
so-and-so is really into 3D printing, I'll get them a 3D printer. Oh, I found this machine. It's really good.
I found an
really
Ender
expensive.
2.
Yeah.
I found a monoprice V1 Mini for $200. Should I buy it?
I go on my local Craigslist every once in a while just to see what people are selling with 3D printers, and it's either like some business, like we're not too far away from like big business centers, and they will be selling like industrial 3D printers for industrial prices, and you're like, why are you selling this on Craigslist? Like this should be going to like an auction house, dude. And then people will be selling very obvious like Prusa clones of clones with like wires dangling everywhere, and they're like 3D printer, $200, and you're like, this looks like a nightmare. This looks like a hobby if I was like a sadomasochist wanting to like get this piece of garbage to work. Just awful. Yeah. I have seen people selling things, selling 3D printers that are like screaming deal. It's like, oh yeah, that's actually definitely something you could pick up. And then, and then a lot of times I'm like, nope. I've also seen people selling a single roll of filament that instead of being the standard diameter, it's the larger one. It's like 3.25 millimeters. And it, like very obviously they've bought this, not realized it's the wrong size, tried to print with it. It doesn't work. and they've gone past the return date, and they go, ugh. And then they look up how much the 3D printer that takes this size filament. You go, what? How many thousands? Industrial? And they go, oh, but I spent $25 on this. I'll chuck it on Craigslist, sell it to someone who doesn't know the difference. Cheeky.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, seriously. All right, man. So to wrap up our holiday podcast of the year, I want to put off a little challenge, not something that has any dimensions or any specifications or anything at all. But this is coming from a bit of a
wait. Can I just pause there for a second? It doesn't have
Go on.
specifications. It doesn't have dimensions. It actually doesn't have anything at all. This is similar to the how do we portray an invisible laser? This has been just a killer. So I'm really sold right now.
Good.
Okay. All right. So go.
This is coming from a Christmas philosophy that I have. I love Christmas ornaments that are homemade. And anytime I see kooky rando, oh, look, it's a pickle and it goes on your tree. Isn't that funny? I hate it. And it's like, because it's so soulless. But Christmas ornaments that are homemade, that are inherently crappy, I absolutely adore. I love them so much. And I feel like any Christmas decorations or any holiday, anything that you celebrate that has this homemade, it's not actually very good, but it feels good to your soul, is always going to be infinitely better than something that's just bought. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I'm going to be making a holiday ornament, but I encourage everyone here to use your CAD skills and make something lovely and homey. If it's something that you 3D print, fantastic. If it's something that you whittle, lovely. If it involves a CNC machine or just like origami and you make it out of paper and cardboard and it's just something lovely. It doesn't even need to be made in CAD. I just think it'd be really fun if every year a whole community just makes
something holiday-y. Christmas,
holiday,
Hanukkah. What other holidays? Are
Kwanzaa.
There yeah.
Can I just do a really tangent fun fact really quick? The guy that invented Kwanzaa was a professor at my university. Yeah. He's now in jail for a very bad thing he did.
Okay, we won't talk about that.
Look into it. As far as I know, yeah. But yeah, that's such a bummer of an ending. To finish off this podcast, we do wish everyone a very, very lovely holiday with your loved ones. Hope everyone drives safe and has a really, really lovely time.
We do that for sure. And we will not be on for the next 2 weeks because our Wednesday podcast falls on Christmas/Hanukkah and then New Year's Day. So we will not be seeing you until after the first of the year. But one more quick thing, Jake. I will be adding an additional challenge. So we have now designed the front sprocket or the chain ring of a bicycle. Right. We've now designed the chain or a couple of the chain links. So the next challenge is going to be the cassette or the freewheel, which is the rear of the bicycle. So the chain connects to the front and the rear, right? So this is going to be the cassette. So I will find some additional I'll find some additional models for that. And then we're going to have to do something kind of unique with this challenge. And that is we're probably going to have to resize things and change things up a little bit so that our chain actually fits on our chain ring and our cassette.
Lovely.
So expect that coming down the line on the Discord. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
See you guys next year.
We will see you all next year.
Have a good time, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Cheers.
Later.